Hello everyone, hope we're all good. And so today we are going to be looking at my 1980s Dimplex wall mountable downflow fan heater. Now you haven't seen this before. This is the first time you're seeing it. Now, I've had this for quite a long while now, and so yeah. So now I've got a story about this Dimplex. Now this is an incredibly special fan heater in my collection. It belonged to my great grandma, and it was her heater for a really long time. And she bought this brand new back around in the 1980s. She actually bought this heater, and she just had it ever since. Now, so I have got a story about this. So a long time ago, my great grandma was visiting my grandma, who's my great grandma's daughter. She was visiting my grandma. My great grandma was visiting my grandma at her house, and my grandma actually showed my great grandma this heater because my grandma had something similar to this in her bathroom. So yeah, and my great grandma really liked the look of this. She said to my grandma that that my step great granddad could fit in one of these for my great grandma, because my great grandma lived with my step great granddad. Yeah, they lived together. And so my great grandma went back to her house, and she asked my step great granddad that if he would fit in one of these for her. And as a matter of fact, he did. He went down to the local electrical shop. He went down to my local electrical shop. It's a very old electrical shop. It's still there, and it's still the shop's still open, and it's still open, and it's still there, still selling electricals. But obviously they're not going to make this Dimplex anymore. So as a matter of fact, so my step great granddad went down to my local electrical shop, because he used to go there. He went there for years, and he actually bought this heater from there, and he actually fitted it in. He fitted it in for my great grandma in her bathroom, because these were mainly designed for a bathroom. You could have one of these in your kitchen as well if you wanted to, if your kitchen got really cold, like specifically in winter. But my great grandma had this in her bathroom, so she did have this fitted in. My step great granddad fitted it in for her, rather than getting an electrician to fit it in. So my step great granddad actually did it himself. He put this heater, this particular one, in the wall. So anyway, so this heater used to sit on the wall at the back of the bath. So on the wall at the back of the bath, that's where this heater used to sit. So then from then on, my great grandma used to use this specifically in the winter time when it got really cold, and she used to use this whenever she had a bath. Whenever she had a bath, like in the winter time, she used to use this. The moment, whole time she was in the bath, mostly she used to use this. She used to have it switched on. So yeah, so this heater got like 33 years of use at least, or a bit less. No, so yeah, so I think this heater got like, sorry, I accidentally said 33. I was thinking of something else there, I think. Yeah, so this heater got a really, really long time of use. So this heater got like 24 years of use. Because I think way into the 2000s, my great grandma was still using this. When this heater, in the 2000s, when this heater was around 23, 24 years old, it was still being used. Because because it was bought in the 1980s and in the 2000s when it was in its when this heater was in its 20s. When this heater was in its 20s of how old it is, in the 2000s when this was like 23, 24 years old, this was actually still being used. And so yeah, so then sadly, like a really, really long time amount of years later, sadly my great grandma got unwell, sadly. Sorry about that. So yeah, so my great grandma sadly got unwell, and then she sadly passed away. And for the whole that time, this heater was just still sat in the bathroom in the exact same place. So yeah. So yeah, it was just sat in the exact same place for a really long. So after when my great grandma had sadly passed away, this heater had not been used. I mean, I possibly couldn't even remember the last time, like, sadly, before she passed away, I could not even remember when this was last used. Like, before she passed away, I couldn't even remember when this was last used. So, after when my great-grandma sadly passed away and my step-great-granddad was all on his own, this heater just sat in the exact same place, did not even get used. Even my step-great-granddad, he didn't use it. I think, yeah, he did still know how to, like, turn it on and everything, but but he didn't, like, yeah, so I think he still knew how to turn it on and off and everything, like, if he did want to use it for some any specific reason. But yeah, so he definitely did still know how to use it, how to, like, turn it on, but I don't think he wasn't quite sure if it was still safe to use. Like, because some of these heaters get really, really old and they get really, really well used, and they, like, either tend to stop working, or their motors tend to go bang. Or their motors tend to go bang or set on fire. So you have to be careful with these, as they're really, really old. So yeah, so, like, a fair few. So this is the funny thing that happened. So that my step great granddad, bless his little heart, my step great granddad, bless his heart, he actually did. So when my step great granddad was in, I think when he was in his, like, late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, when he was, like, in his late 80s, early 90s, I think he was in his early 90s when he did this. One day, and bless his dear heart, because when my grandma used to go and visit him, my grandma, who is his stepdaughter, so when my grandma used to go and visit him at his house, he used to walk around the house, just check everything was all right. And yeah, everything seemed perfectly fine. And one day he actually went into his bathroom. I don't know what he had to. I don't know what I can't remember. I can't, bless his heart, I can't remember what he did. And so yeah, so he I think it was rather chilly in his bathroom, and I can't really remember. But he actually felt his bath taps, because his bath taps were cold. Because he put his hand on his bath taps, and his bath taps felt quite cold. So bless his heart, what he actually did was, and bless his dear little heart, what he actually did was, he actually reached up and turned this heater on. And it was just so shocking for me because he felt his bath taps and they felt cold. So what he actually did was, he actually reached up and turned this heater on. And surprisingly, it still worked. And yeah, surprisingly, and I was just so shocked when my grandma told me, because I used to be quite fascinated with this. When I was little, and when I used to go to my step great granddad's house, way back then, when my great grandma, when my dear beloved great grandma was still alive. So when my great grandma was still alive, so I used to go around and visit them when I was little, and I actually went. I remember going into their bathroom a few times I was there, and I remembered seeing some like extractor fan thing. I vividly remember seeing some sort of extractor fan thing in the bathroom, and that extractor fan thing was this Dimplex. So what my step great granddad did was that he actually, and bless his heart, after when he felt his bath taps and his bath taps felt cold, he actually turned this heater on, and bless him, he just reached up a bit and turned it on, because I'm not sure if you would have noticed, you probably hadn't, but this does come with a pull cord, and as a matter of fact I do still have the pull cord. It's got this piece you can pull on. It's not broken at the moment, but I can't pull it at the moment because because where it pulls, the switch that the end of the pull cord is attached to, it's not. Oh, nearly dropped it then. It's not connected to anything. So this end of the pull cord, where it leads to in there, it's not attached to the main switch at the moment. The main switch that turns the motor in this on and just starts the heater up, because it's basically a wall mountable downflow fan heater. That's how this works. Oh, sorry about that noise. I don't know what that is outside. So so basically this heater was just sat in that bathroom for a really long time. It just stayed there, didn't even be used. Then my step great granddad tested it because his bath taps felt cold. He actually reached up, because this was still connected to the mains. Yeah, because me and my grandma thought that this didn't even work anymore, but no, it did seem to work when my step great granddad tested it, when he felt his bath taps and his bath taps felt cold. He actually tested this heater and it did actually seem to still work. So he just, bless his little heart, he just pulled the pull cord, and he just pulled the pull cord and it just suddenly started up. So after when I was told that this heater did actually still work, so I did actually used to test this myself. Yeah, so I did used to test this myself, because after when I was told it still worked, I wanted to have an experience of switching it on. I do actually still remember turning this on a few times, and so then after a little while it had been on, after when my step great granddad turned it on because his bath taps were cold. My grandma then went into the bathroom. Then my grandma went into the bathroom and she actually turned this heater off. And she said that it stinks. It stinked when she went near it, because obviously this grill here is where the heat comes out. All the heating elements are inside there. So when my grandma turned it off, it turned off perfectly fine, but it just smelled. It just used to stink. This just used to stink when you switched it on. This did actually smell of burning. It didn't mean it was dangerous though. The reason, and I did actually figure it out because I have removed the front cover I've removed the front cover on this before. You can remove the front covers on these. I discovered that the hole, because it's got, so obviously it's inside this grill here. It's just got some generic black blades inside. At a later date, I will do a video of removing the front cover on this. Obviously, I don't want to remove it today, but we'll remove it another day. So yeah, so it's still quite a clever heater in its age. Yeah, so sadly we can't turn this on because it doesn't work anymore. Or I'm not sure if it would still work. It would either not work anymore, or it would start up, or it would suddenly turn on, but then discover that like the motor might suddenly go bang. And just now, I've just remembered one specific time I did actually turn this on, and the motor did actually still sound alright when I turned it on. The motor on it did actually still sound alright. So when you first turned it on, it made a buzzing noise. That was just the motor starting up. And then the noise increased, and it used to make, not humming noise, definitely, but it was just an ordinary like heater noise. And I do actually still remember feeling one of the moments I did actually risk it and turn it on. I did actually feel the heat from under here, from where the heat comes out of underneath here. I did actually feel it, and it did still blow out nice. It did still blow out nice air, nice warm air, or hot air in this type of heater. But so it used to blow out a nice hot air, right, to keep you nice and warm. But I think even from a distance away, I could smell it, and it just smelled musty and burning, and it just smelled really manky as well. And I thought, oh my god, it stinks. I was allowed to turn it on because I think in truth it was still safe. Well, it was still safe, but I wouldn't keep it running for too long because it might suddenly just cut out, which might mean that the motor might have just overheated. But I didn't really know what was wrong with it. I thought it was all right, but it just needed refurb. So I still got it here out the wall, but I don't want to use it anymore because if it was still safe and properly safe, like to leave running for a long while, then yes, it's very likely I would still use this, but I don't want to use it. I wouldn't feel dangerous, like dodgy sort of dangerous to still use this, but it might not be the safest idea to use it or not to keep it running for too long. Because I know some of these can still be safe depending how much use they've had, but as it's my great grandma's old heater, I probably wouldn't want to use it anymore. If I discovered it still worked, then maybe I would connect it up to the mains and maybe it'd get a little bit of use, but it wouldn't get very much use. It wouldn't matter if I did use it too much. If it was still safe, it probably isn't safe. Motor would probably catch fire in the next few minutes it's been on. So anyway, got a last part of the story. So after when my step great granddad finally went, after when my step great granddad, not finally, sorry, it wasn't meant to say finally, after when my step great granddad sadly went because he got unwell as well. We had to sort out his house because it was just such a mess. We had to get rid of all the old stuff. So, so including this heater. So we had a skip because one of my other relatives lives in his house now because it's all been refurbished and it looks like a newly built property now. So that we had a massive skip outside because we did a lot of decorating work in the house. It was just a bit like renovation, but I don't really call it renovation. I just call it refurbishing the house and just chucking all the old stuff out. Yeah, a bit similar to renovation, but I didn't really call it renovation back then. So yeah, a bit similar to renovation, but I wouldn't. But I didn't normally call it renovation. I just called it like refurbishing the house up. So anyway, so I was told that I still remember when I was told that this heater had been taken out the wall one day, that they were just completely stripping down the bathroom. I was actually told when this heater was taken out the wall, and I thought, as it was my great grandma's, I want to keep it. So I was told that it had been taken out the wall. I was told that this had been taken out the wall and been thrown into the skip. So I wanted to keep it, and just keep it, not to use it anymore, just to keep it as it is now, just keep it looking good. Because I dreadfully miss this if this got chucked out. But I did one day. I actually went round to my step great granddad's house after when he passed, and we were all doing the house up. And it was the day or a few days ago I was told that this heater had been chucked in the skip. So what I did was that I did actually rummage through the skip, see if I could find this. And as a matter of fact, I did find it, but I think because I vaguely remember someone telling me that this heater had actually been, at the moment they took it out the wall, the front grille the front cover had actually just flown off. So yeah, so I just wanted to save this, and I didn't want this to go with the other old rubble. So I just wanted to save it. So when I took it out the skip, it was in a very dirty mess, because obviously been sat there for a good 33 years or so. So yeah, so what I wanted to do was I wanted to keep it, and just keep it don't use it like that. Don't use it anymore. Don't put it in the wall. Don't turn it on anymore. Just keep it as it is now. Just keep it out the wall. And so yeah. I still remember when I first got it at the skip. I still remember when I first got it at the skip. I still remember that I still remember seeing that the pull cord. Oh, nearly dropped it again. Load it up a bit slightly. So I still remember seeing that the pull cord wasn't in. So because my great uncle was helping with the house as well. I actually asked my great uncle where the pull cord was, and so one of my other relatives that was helping with the house, they actually said to me that my great uncle was using the pull cord to pull out something out the wall. So yeah. So then I went and asked my great uncle where the pull cord for it was, and then he had it. He gave it back to me, and he had it in his hand. So that's what happened. So yeah. So just have a little, and so I want to end the video. I want to end the video soon, so we'll just have a little look. So here's the side of it. Here's the back. Here's the back of it. It's got the back grille as well, and it's got all these bits that help it attach to the wall. Still got some slight of the paint that my great grandma's and my step great granddad's old bathroom wall used to have. It used to be a pink wall, and it used to have all that. So we've got a rating plate here. It says Dimplex Heating Limited, BAB approved, model FX200, 240 volts, 50 hertz. It's got 2,000 watts, this. Series A, and it's double insulated as well. So yeah, so at some point I'm going to do a video of of like taking it apart, like mainly just removing the front grille, the exhaust grille here, that where the heat comes out, that can come off as well. That's gone a bit rusty, but it's still be able to come out. I don't see why not. Yeah, basically we got the Dimplex logo. Do not cover, and disconnect from the mains before removing this cover. And we just got screw holes. And so yeah, so I'll just show you how the switch works quickly, and then I'll end the video. So yeah, so it's the newer Dimplex wall mountable fan heaters you get these days. They have an orange indicator light. That when the heater's on, the light's on as well. But on this it's very, very old-fashioned and different. So this has a bit of a different feature with the switch. So when you pull the pull cord on this, because it's got a dial inside here. So on this, when you pull the pull cord, there's a dial inside that that's marked with red and marked with white and a red 0. So when that changes, when that little hole there changes to red, that means on. So it's not like an indicator light, it's just a switch. It's just a switch that turns red, and when it's red it means it's on. When it's 0, when it's on white with the red 0, that means it's off. So yeah, so that's how it works. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing my great-grandma's old Dimplex wall-mounted downflow bathroom fan heater that she had for a really, really long time, and I managed to save it from going to the dump. And so yeah, so anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and see ya!